Okay, if you feel like you're getting whiplash from the AI news cycle lately, you are definitely not alone. I mean, 2024 has just been a total blur of breakthroughs, right? So today, we're going to hit the pause button and actually connect some of these dots. We're going to look at the engine that's really driving all this change, see the wild places it's starting to show up, and figure out how we're all scrambling to keep up. Let's get into it.
So, this is the question on everyone's mind, isn't it? Like, how fast is this train really moving? Because it's one thing to hear about it in headlines, but it's another thing entirely to really feel the speed and the scale of what's happening. And the answer? Well, it's not just about faster computers. It's about a feedback loop that's starting to spin faster and faster and faster. And that is the cycle we're going to unpack today. It all starts with a huge technical breakthrough that's making AI way cheaper and more powerful. From there, we'll see how that breakthrough is sparking these incredible new ideas, everything from robots in the kitchen to AI movie makers in Hollywood. And then finally, we'll look at the human side, how we're all racing to write the rules for this brand new world that's being built right in front of us.
All right, so let's start with that first piece of the puzzle, the engine room. What is the fundamental change under the hood that's making all of this possible? Well, it really all comes down to one massive leap in efficiency. You see, at the heart of pretty much all modern AI is something called a transformer model. The easiest way to think about it is like it's the basic brain architecture. Its superpower is understanding context, which is why it's the engine behind everything from ChatGPT to those incredible AI image generators. Now, for years, this has been the gold standard, but building and training these things has been ridiculously expensive until now. And this is the whole story right here, 40%. Researchers have figured out a new way to optimize these transformer models, and in doing so, they've slashed the cost of training them by a whopping 40%. And, get this, without losing any accuracy. Now, this isn't some small incremental tweak. This is a giant leap. It basically changes the entire economics of AI development, like overnight. So what does a 40% price cut really mean? Well, it's not just about the big tech companies saving a few bucks. It means the doors are suddenly blown wide open for smaller companies, for university researchers, maybe even for a couple of coders in a garage to start building and experimenting with truly world-class AI. It is a massive democratization of power. And this is where things get really, really interesting. Because when you make powerful technology cheaper and easier to get your hands on, innovation just explodes. So let's take a look at how this breakthrough is jumping out of the world of code and into our actual lives, both physical and digital. And we're seeing this explosion happen in two major arenas. On one side, you have AI getting a physical body, learning to interact with our world in ways that are just kind of stunning. And on the other side, you have it becoming this unbelievably powerful creative tool in the digital world, blurring the lines between what's real and what's not. So first up, let's talk about this robot chef. Now, I know what you're thinking, but this is not just some pre-programmed arm that mindlessly chops carrots. No, this is something totally new because of how it learns. It's wild. The robot essentially binge watches YouTube cooking tutorials. It uses this technique called imitation learning, where it observes human chefs, it breaks down their every little movement, and then it just learns to copy them with incredible precision. And the result is mind-blowing. It can go from just watching videos to autonomously cooking an entire 5-course meal. It's learning just like we do by watching and copying someone else. Okay, now let's switch gears and jump over to the digital world. That same fundamental progress is fueling a creative explosion. We are now at the point where you can just type a simple sentence, describe a scene, and an AI can generate a high-quality, totally realistic video clip right out of thin air. And as you can imagine, this is a complete game changer for the creative industries. This quote really says it all. Hollywood is feeling both excitement and concern. I mean, on one hand, there's this incredible excitement about the new storytelling tools this unlocks. But on the other, there's some really deep concern about jobs, about copyright, and about the very nature of what it means to make a film. It's the classic double-edged sword. And that concern right there brings us perfectly to the final piece of our puzzle. Because with every massive technological leap, you get friction, you get challenges, and you get a desperate need for new rules. This is the human response to AI's incredible acceleration. I mean, how do you even begin to put guardrails on a technology that is moving this fast? How do we get all the amazing benefits of cooking robots and AI filmmakers, while also protecting ourselves from things like deep fakes, misuse, and huge economic disruption? That is the massive question that regulators all over the world are trying to answer right now. And for what feels like the first time, we're actually seeing a serious, coordinated, global effort to try and get ahead of these risks. Leaders and experts from all over the world are coming together to try and build a shared rulebook for AI, a unified safety framework to make sure this technology gets developed and used responsibly. So, what are they focused on? Well, a few key things. First, just creating that big, overarching safety framework. A huge piece of that is watermarking, creating a reliable way to tag AI generated stuff so we can all tell what's real from what's fake. They're also, of course, focused on protecting critical systems, power grids, financial markets, and untangling the absolute mess of copyright questions that all this new creative AI brings up. So, we've seen the breakthrough, we've seen the wild new applications, and we've seen the human response. What does all of this mean for what's coming next? Well, the most important thing to get is that this isn't a straight line. It's a cycle. And here it is. This is the key takeaway. You have a technical breakthrough, like making AI models 40% cheaper to run. That leads to incredible new real-world applications, like a robot that learns to cook from YouTube. And those applications create societal consequences, which force us to respond with new rules and regulations. And guess what? Those new rules then shape the next wave of technical breakthroughs. This cycle, this is the engine of AI progress. So the big story of 2024 isn't any single invention. It's the fact that the speed of this entire cycle, from breakthrough to application to consequence, is accelerating like crazy. Each spin is getting faster and more impactful than the last. Which, of course, leaves us with the most important question of all. As this thing keeps spinning faster and faster, are we actually ready for what's coming next?